Hello all, this is the Casual Noob Gamer back at you with another video. Oh yeah, video! I am coming at you with this video about the Nintendo Indie World Showcase that just um showed up today. Just showed up, showcase, there we go. Yeah, good word salad. Anyway, I don't even know if that is word salad. Anyway, I watched the America Direct first, the Direct in from Nintendo of America, and then I watched the Japan Direct because they got 5 minutes extra of footage. So I had to use Google Translate to see what some of the titles were because the stuff pretty much that they gave them that they didn't give us was basically um in Japanese, like one of the games. Well, I'll get to the games from America first, how that direct went. So we started out with Mina the Hollower, which I am super excited for. I played a tiny drop of Shovel Knight. Love the concept, love the controls. Still have to get to it, but it's highly regarded by a lot of people. I see why, because it looks like a ton of fun. Mina looks like even more fun, and I'm glad that they took their time to get it out correctly. Little note about Mina the Hollower. Yacht Club Games official account said that on the Switch 2, it will be running at 120 frames per second. Just go into, I believe it is, don't quote me on this, look up Yacht Clubs on socials and see what they said. But I believe you go to the settings, under somewhere in settings, there's going to be an option to maximize the frames per second. So just do that, maximize, and it will give you 120 frames if your display can do, or whatever the maximum your display can do. So the Switch handheld screen does 120 frames a second. So if you play in handheld, which it's a game that could be played in handheld. You really don't need to blow it up on the TV, but I mean I prefer TV. Anyway, that is just one game. Super excited for. That is coming out October 31st on Halloween. There is a demo that Shadow dropped today. So if you don't know if you're going to like it or not, check out the demo. And yeah. Then we got another game. It was called Well Dweller. And it looks like a nice little game where basically you're doing side-scrolling combat with some sort of like little creature type guy that you're controlling. You have the ability to like slide under enemies. A lot of fast-paced, fluid action. It looks like that one definitely looks like something that I want to pick up and take a look at. Then we had Neverway. I think that the gameplay in Neverway looks good from what I've seen in the trailer that they showed, but that one, the color scheme, like everything kind of seems, I guess the term would be monochromatic, where it's basically all the colors on the screen that you're looking at blend together. So it'll be like I think they were going with like purples that I saw. So I don't think the whole game, like if it's a scene where like they're using reds, like it'll be like different shades of red, almost reminiscent of like Virtual Boy, where like that thing was like monochromatic one color. So that kind of, I don't know, that kind of turns me off a little bit. I don't know. Then there was a game called Herdling, which I had seen before. I might have seen it at like a Keeley show. You're basically herding like a bunch of like looks like bisons or buffaloes, and you're basically trying to get them through an environment and towards an end goal, kind of like the game Far Reaching Shores, but this is in a 3D, so you're going through a world and going over, I guess, like landscapes. That looks interesting to me. Then there was a game called Is This Seat Taken, where you're basically doing seat planning, but it's almost seems like a logic puzzle. You have to like determine like where someone would need to or want to sit and what's available seating wise to put them. So it's almost like a puzzle game. I mean, it looks interesting. I would have loved if there was a demo for something like that. I mean, sure. Then they had Little Kitty Big City, which that is a game I want to get to. I think it was, well, I know it was on Game Pass when it first dropped. Um, I don't know if it's still on Game Pass, but they're coming out with it's called the Picture Perfect update. So there's some sort of update for the game that I believe it's a free update, which is it does something with the game. I'm not sure exactly. I don't remember exactly what it does. Then there was a game called Content Warning. What is this? Hold on, let me just run this trailer. Oh, this is some sort of game that apparently this game Content Warning was available on PC, and you're basically it's like you play with other people and you have to escape this area that you're in, kind of like a dungeon that you're trying to escape, and you're trying to do it with your friends, almost like a Dead by Daylight. It's got that horror-esque kind of thing to it too. So Dead by Daylight, trying to escape, everyone gets to safety, and then you can then watch like the people who are still trapped in the dungeon trying to get out. Yeah, that I mean, I guess you have to have people in real life to play games like that. To play, I don't know if you could play. I'm sure you could play with like randoms like you do with Dead by Daylight, but you would need like a big uh number of people that are actually playing the game, because if you need other people, I don't know if you'll be able to get matches, being that it's an indie game, so I don't know if that's the best platform for something like that. Then there was a game called Ball Pit, which reminded me of like Brick Breaker. You get like the guy came out with like a bunch of like fruit that was like balls, that, and one he was balancing on his head, and he was holding a tray of balls to like kind of drive the point home that there are lots of balls that just go flying everywhere in this game, and it's kind of like a brick breaker where you're trying to, I guess, like bounce the balls back to destroy the environment up top. I think that's what it kind of is. I didn't understand why some of the balls were just like going through the player as they were flying past them, like, because with Brick Breaker you don't want anything to go past you into the out area. Yeah, so that looked interesting. I'll check that out, depending on what the price and everything. Then there was Ultimate Sheep Raccoon, which is by the ultimate, was it like chicken turkey chicken ultimate sheep chicken people, but it's like a bicycle, like a like a bicycle trick game where you're riding on ramps, and it's a side scroller. So ultimate sheep chicken. This is Ultimate Sheep Raccoon. Yeah, I mean, not my kind of game. Then this game surprised me. It's called Glaciered, Glaciered, and it's basically was described in the video as um, a JRPG. So you basically are riding through the ocean as kind of like some sort of like fish creature with fins, but like humanoid looking, almost like a Zora from a Zelda game, and you're swimming through the ocean, battling like sharks and different things like that are in the ocean, and you have like hit points, and like I think it's an action RPG, or it wasn't turn based, but like yeah, so it's like action RPG, and you're swimming through the ocean like kind of like Echo the Dolphin, like I saw someone describe it as that, like going through the ocean, like action adventure, action JRPG. I don't know. I don't like using the JRPG moniker. I just call them RPGs. But I guess it was developed by a Japanese studio because, yeah, spoiler alert, when we watched the Nintendo of Japan Indie World Showcase, a lot of the stuff on the screen was in Japanese and stuff. But obviously, a lot of it's going to be because it's Nintendo of Japan that's advertising. But anyway, I digress. Then we had, I believe these were the sizzle reel. You had the Winter Burrow, which we had seen before, which is a thing. It's about like a little kind of like mouse that burrows in the snow, and you're going through stuff. I don't know. It looks okay. I mean, I put it in the category of like a Blanc or like an Endling. Like it doesn't play like those. It's more like a top-down 2D game. But yeah. Then there was Undusted Letters from the Past, which looked like Power Wash Simulator for like different things. Like they showed them cleaning off a locket and like a key, and it was like dirty, and like you cleaned it off, and then it was nice and clean and shiny. And yeah, I mean, maybe you discover stuff, so maybe you're collecting things and you're just cleaning them up. Yeah. Then there was Tiny Bookshop, which it looked like, if you've ever seen like the tiny houses that they do shows about, it was like a tiny little like tiny house, tiny bookshop. It was a bookshop, and they were you were going through titles, so there's a lot of reading involved and stuff like that. I don't think there's any like action, but I don't know exactly what it was. Then there was Caves of Qud, QUD. Let's see what this thing. This is I'm watching the trailer now. This is much longer than the trailer they showed here. So I don't know what this is. This is almost like a text adventure where you're going through an environment, and you're seeing like key symbols on a map, and then when you go to the symbols, like you're doing a lot of reading and a lot of things. It's kind of like an old school adventure where like you'd be like, you have entered the room, 5 enemies have surrounded you, and like you read a bunch of that text, but you also see a lot of that on the screen depicted in like kind of like pictures on a map. So I don't know. This is not my style. I'm just skipping over this. Then we had Strange Antiquities, which this one was it was like you're in a shop, and you're basically you're getting like different items that are I guess like antiquities, and I'm not really sure what you're doing in regards to them. I mean, this definitely was not my style either. So Then there was something that was Opus Prism Break, which, spoiler alert, this was in the sizzle reel here, and it looked actually good, like some sort of like almost like an action RPG, like a 3D kind of like walking through environments and like stories and stuff. So you're basically going on some sort of journey adventure and figuring stuff out. I mean, you're taking pictures of just this different things, and I don't know. This I guess I'll check it out if there's like a demo or something, but this didn't pique my interest either. And then the last one was this thing UFO 50. Apparently people this is on other platforms, and it's basically like UFO 50 because it's a bunch of smaller like games and stuff. It's like a compilation. So yeah, and that was the Nintendo of America one. Then the Nintendo of Japan one, which had an extra 5 minutes, which by the way, if you want, you can just, instead of watching my description video, I mean, I know you're coming here to get my opinion, which is why I'm telling you what I would be interested in. Like the Nintendo of America one, there was, let's see, out of all these, UFO 51, Winterboro, yeah, 2, Glacier 3, Ball Pit 4, Little Kitty Big City, yeah, I want to play that, so 5, Herdling 6, Well Dweller 7, Mina the Hollower 8. There were 8 things that interested me. Now, on the Nintendo of Japan version of the indie showcase, where they had basically an extra 7 things that they showed, and there were 2 things that were in our sizzle reel that wasn't in their sizzle reel. It was actually, they showed more of it. So there were 7 things. One of them was this game called Exit 8, which looked like you were in a subway system. I'm assuming it's a subway system since they're calling it Exit 8. There was something with characters, maybe like character openings or something like that, where they basically put a bunch of, it was Japanese text. I forgot what the texts are called in Japanese. But they had like a bunch of those on the screen, like one of the texts, like you would move one of the pieces of text. I don't know what the text was that they were moving, and they moved it to something that looked like it opened like a door, and they walked into it. So it may have been the Japanese character for the word door. So they walked into the word door. I don't know. Couldn't get the Google Translate to get fast enough to that, but that looked interesting. And then you had like a bunch of like enemies that were like, they were like the Japanese texts were kind of like in the shape of the enemies, kind of like, like pixels, like that many pixels to make the enemy. There was that. They had Wobbly Life, which I've seen that. I think that's actually on other platforms. I didn't know it was. I thought it was on. I mean, I think I've seen it on the eShop. So maybe it's just not in Japan and it's going there. They had Pico Park 2. So I guess that's going to Japan. That's for that's all I could really remember. There were like 7 things. Nothing of interest, nothing where I was like, "Oh man, I wish we're getting that game." So there was nothing really extra in the Japanese one that I'm like, "Oh, why is that not coming to America, to the US, to our eShop?" But There was nothing there. To be honest, there was. I mean, the only thing I think I really was excited for, like super excited for in this indie showcase, was Glacier. I mean, that UFO 50. I didn't even notice it until afterwards when I saw people in different chats of the show talking about how that was such a great thing. Glacier, Ball Pit is interesting, but I mean the Brick Breaker concept doesn't really get me. Little Kitty Big City, I mean it's been in my backlog. If I haven't gotten to it yet, I mean I'll get to it eventually. I guess I'm picking it up on Switch because if I buy it, I would rather have it on the Switch and play it there. Well Dweller looked really good. I'm actually excited for that. I'm always up for a good action RPG hack and slash. I don't know if it's an RPG. I mean, it was definitely an action game the way that the combat was. It reminds me almost of like a Blasphemous or something like that. Not. I don't think it was that difficult, like a Souls like. Mina the Hollower is my definite top pick for this. I mean, I was already excited for Mina. I've been watching it for a while, and that is most likely a day one. There's a demo. I'll go check out the demo. But anyway, these are my thoughts. Like, subscribe, comment below on what you thought was good at this show. What are you excited for? Let me know if you like what I'm excited for. I hope that you enjoyed my thoughts on these different games that are coming out. I mean, there was nothing to write home about this show. I mean, I've seen people say it could have been an email. I mean, I think that phrase is being way overused nowadays. Not everything is an email. I mean, these shows are advertisement, which is why the Japanese version of this show was different and longer than ours, because they had different games that are going to be appealing more towards that audience based on research that they've done of prior games and the buying patterns of people over in that region. So that's why we didn't get things like that. I mean, we can't always, have more and the most of everyone. I mean, it's okay. I mean, to be honest, they can keep a lot of those games. I mean, also even if we had a lot of games here that I'm like, oh, I need everything, I cannot play everything, I'm realizing, which is why next time I talk about my backlog, the plan has greatly changed because I realized I cannot play everything that I want to play. I don't have the time. I'm going to be miserable putting that much time into video games. So also hit the bell notification to know when I put out videos. And you all have a great rest of your day. Later.